Yo, yo, yo. Yo, we are in the building. This, that, and the third interview series. Steven the Dream is in the building. I told y'all, man, it doesn't matter if it's music, fashion, business, health. If you not coming through here when an event is going on this, that, and the third, you tripping. You missing out. I'm shining the light on all the stars in our city, and I got a businessman right here because you have to be a business in the industry that he is in. I got Quality Adams in the building with me, tattoo artist extraordinaire. What's good with you, man?
What's going on, G?
Not much, man. It's good to have you up here. I'm gonna ask everybody the same question that I ask. I'm gonna ask you as well. Tell me what are your plans for CIAA, and give me one of your favorite CIAA moments.
Well, really, my plans for CIAA, to be honest with you, big dog. Right now, at this particular part of my, journey in my career, or whatnot, I'm really more so focused on tattooing or whatnot, and really just um, trying to get it in. You know what I mean? That's what I'm really more so focused on. I done spent so many years just at CIAA.
Mm.
I'm a Carolina native, so
You ain't had no fun with it, no time, or maybe like I had somebody come on here and was like, it was a brawl one year, and
oh,
it was just
I'm,
memorable because it was a
oh,
brawl.
I
But
definitely got some memories. I
that's
see.
what I'm.
You know what
What's
I
a
mean?
memory?
Like
It could be.
I'm just talking about as far as on now. You know what I'm
Okay, right
saying?
now,
Like
right now.
I'm 28, so now,
It's not the same. It's that energy
as
that you go
man,
out
listen,
with ain't the same for
bro. When I was
CIAA.
like 24, 23, 25, I mean 21, them younger years,
Yeah.
bro, CIAA was like crazy, crazy.
Yes, it
Like
was.
I remember I seen like one year, bro, me and my cousin, like he stayed on the west side, his name Chris or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
we just, yo, man, we about to link up with some chicks and we gonna pull up to Charlotte or whatnot, CIAA weekend, let's get into something, you know what I mean? So we going downtown, probably looking for a club or something to get into, whatever.
Right.
Man, we seen some dude just get the dog snot beat out of him by a hot dog stand, bro. I
Which
don't know what it was about, but he just got the dog snot beat out of him, and
that happens a lot at CIAA.
bruh, like it was so funny, but at the same time, like CIAA is like now that I'm more business minded, it's like it's also opportunity for you
Yes,
to advance business wise if you
absolutely.
capitalize off of it. So I'm speaking from a standpoint of when I was just the person enjoying CIAA. Now I speak from the person of
You prospering off of it, really.
right. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
So like they say, there's two type of people in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Which one you gonna be?
Hey, and when this weekend comes to town, in the last 3 or 4 years, it's been business for me, man. I might try to have a little bit of fun tonight, though, man. It's been a great week. We
I'm
had a lot of
definitely having
people
some
up here.
fun
You having
tonight.
some fun tonight?
I'm having some fun
Okay, then.
tonight.
I have to holler at Quality Adams, man, before I get out of
I'm
here.
definitely getting in something tonight.
But let's jump right into it, man. Let me ask you, where are you from, and where did the name Quality come from as well?
Well, I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, or whatnot. I probably stayed on the south side or whatnot of Charlotte, like maybe 2, 3 years out of my life or whatnot. But I
Hmm.
really more so claim Rock Hill or whatnot. That's where I reside. That's why pretty much people know me for whatnot. I went to Bellevue, Slough Trail,
Mm.
Rocket High. You know what I'm saying? I done attended a few colleges, York Tech, I done
Hmm.
DeVry, stuff like that. But my summer grounds is really Rock Hill, but
Dope.
I migrate between the two. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I got family between the two. You know what I mean? As far as of my name, Quality Inc. It's Quality Adams on Facebook, but
Hmm.
on Instagram it's Quality Inc. That's
Hmm.
why I prefer to go by Quality Inc.
Quality.
Quality underscore INKQ all together INKQ.
Hmm.
I do that because one thing we got to understand as a culture, naming, branding. When you say I'm a king,
Hmm.
that speaks power to you and everybody who comes in contact with you. So
Facts.
we got to start taking initiative as far as how we name ourselves. If you a savage, you gonna act like what?
Savage.
You see what I'm saying?
As you should.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's okay to when it's suitable.
Mm.
You know
But
what I mean?
that's not always, because I mean we've seen people go through name changes based on that alone. They not even that same aura, that same type of person anymore. So
Correct.
so is it, does the work that you do, speak for the name as well? Was that maybe something that over time was earned, or like how do you feel it just came about?
Me personally, far as of like when it come down to the name, I feel like yeah, a name's supposed to be earned, but at the same time, you got to give yourself a name
Mm.
because you, at the end of the day, when nobody's supporting you, who is there?
Yourself. You got to stand on your own.
Right. So you got to dub yourself.
Facts.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? So
Especially when it's a name like that, like you were really more standing on your own self and saying, I'm gonna stand on my name. I'm gonna provide quality, which in your line of work, very important.
correct. And don't get me wrong. Originally, my name wasn't quality.
Mm.
You know, I wanted to put on a persona or whatever you
Okay.
wanted to call it.
Little
But
Basquiat type.
right, but
Okay.
I'll call it ink dripper.
Ink
You know,
dripper.
I got it tatted right here on my neck. You know,
I
shout
see.
out to Ontario Calza, Rod. Or many people know him as Rod or Ontario on Facebook. But he did this on my neck. I got a lot of tattoos from a lot of people around the Carolinas. You see what I'm saying? So I support a lot of artists,
Okay.
music or art. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I'm supportive of the community, period. You know what I mean? But, you know, like I said, originally my name was Ink Dripper. You know, I was like, I want the ink dripping off the skin. You know what I mean? I want people to have the flies. You
Right,
know,
right.
whatever. That was my mindset. But then after a while, I was like, it's more to art than just, oh, it looked good on the skin. You know, I got into, like, I became a vegan. So now it's more of the quality.
You sound like quality of life. Sound like a lifestyle thing too.
Now you're getting what I'm getting at.
Okay.
You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know this about me, but if you come get tatted by me, you'll know I will explain this to you. Like my inks are vegan.
Wait a minute. Yeah, ink. How can you ink is ink? So now let me get back to this. Explain what vegan means for people that don't understand, so they can understand what you're saying when you say my inks are vegan.
Now, okay, when I say my ink is vegan, my ink doesn't have any like metals
Okay.
or any animal preservatives in the ink.
Oh wow. Is that what can cause people to have maybe infections and those, or is that the thing that's in ink that people normally use, can it be dangerous to you, or is vegan just a different choice you decide to use?
It could be, but based on what I've been researched, is some inks have metal in it. You know what I mean? And when you think of metal, you know, like this might be made out of metal. Think about that being in your skin
Right.
as an ink.
Right.
You like, what is that really doing internally to me? Is it causing some type of sickness? Is it you know what I'm saying? Like
Eating away at my like what is it?
it's nothing natural. Which
Okay.
is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
You come from a natural place, which is the source.
Right.
Yeah, it come from the source, but it's not a natural
Not natural
source.
source. It's still made with man-made things and okay.
You see what I'm
I've
saying?
never heard that term even associated with ink and tattoos before. I want to ask you, Quality, before we jump present terms. Like, do you remember the first tattoo? Two questions. The first tattoo you ever got, and then second, the first tattoo you ever gave. To jump off of that, was it professionally? If you could talk about it, I mean, I don't want to ruin your name out here.
Like get my experience up.
I'm not. Without you working, and I don't want you just to say, "Oh, I know how to tat," if you ain't put in that work yet.
Right. So somebody got to be like, yo, I deal with you enough, or I like you enough, or I trust you enough to give you that chance to help support you.
Right.
So
right.
that's where the homeboys, homegirls come in. And what you think 9 times out of 10, a lot of them is doing it
At the crib.
or maybe at their homeboys' house, or whatever. But my thing is, in Rock Hill and South Carolina, if you're gonna do that, with the guidelines of Rock Hill, at least allow people to learn how to do it the correct way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because people gonna do it regardless. You
Correct.
know,
Correct.
if the law say you can't or not, they gonna do it regardless. At least
Correct.
give them like you said, that platform and that avenue to practice.
Correct. Correct. And me personally, like whether it's a new artist or people or artists I done came up with, or people or I mean artists that been doing it before me,
Hmm.
like I tap into all three.
Okay.
I don't never feel like I'm better than the next, or I don't try to be in competition with the next. I don't never say. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm the best artist, but don't get me wrong. I don't never boast like, oh, I'm the biggest artist. I'm the
Right,
best.
right, right.
No, for what? I'm trying to be in competition with my old self. I'm in competition with Ink Dripper.
Right, the person who the person you just want to progress from the person who you were before,
Correct.
and make sure you see that progression in yourself, and that's verification
And
enough
you
for
know
you.
why?
Talk about it.
Because I got a son,
How old is your son?
10.
I've seen Quality Ink with us live on the Stand the Third right now. I want to ask you. I've seen kids, or I've seen on the internet a tattooed child before. I don't know if it was real or
I
not.
seen
Could have been
that.
fake.
I seen
I,
that.
I saw that.
I seen that.
What are your thoughts about and I'll ask this in kind of two ways. One, your kid seeing you with these tattoos all on you and wanting, hey daddy, I want a tattoo too. And two, like what do you think about like when you get older? Like when you get older, the people when we get older, people in our generation are gonna look a lot different than what older people look now. So what kind of thought do you put into one telling your son like, hey, you can't, or I don't know how you handle that situation. Tell me how you handle that situation. And two, what are your thoughts about how you'll look in your appearance whenever you get older?
Okay. Far as of my son, I always try to tell him to be as expressive as he can be, far as of anything that's not harming anybody else.
Hmm.
I try to instill morals and values in him that allow him to experience his or showcase his creativity the best way he can, far as of long as it don't I'm gonna say what's the word I'm looking for?
Is it?
Uh, offend. My bad.
Oh, you
Offend.
good?
Like you don't offend
Okay, I see what you're
anybody
saying.
else. You know
I
what I'm
see
saying?
what you're
Because
saying.
some art is offensive. Some art is bold. Some art is subtle.
I want to talk to you about that later too. But
Okay.
yeah,
But for example, me and you are art.
right.
Your mom and daddy
We
created
was
something
created.
in the room. You know what I mean?
Why you gotta get into that, Quality?
Hey.
You gotta don't take me there, man.
Because art is people don't understand art is very expansive.
Hmm.
To the people that might design your clothes, to the people that
Mm.
might turn around and the clothes you design and turn around and take them and let me paint this on,
Right, right.
or your logo or the way you look at whatever it is that you look at it, you like, oh, I like that. That's
Hmm.
art. Oh, that girl look good. That dude look good. That's
It's
art.
art. So you go into, you know, putting that on display. Is that what it is? It's art. It's not uh per se. People can be offended. You don't want to offend people because, like I said, I was gonna ask you about like the clothing lines that are offending people now, and how does that? What's the line between art and just ignorance? You know,
Right,
because
right,
some things
right.
can be ignorant, but like you said, somebody designed the Gucci shirts.
Correct,
Somebody
correct.
designed those little medallions that the brands had on there. I forgot which brand. Chanel, I think it was. One of the two. I
Yeah,
don't
I
want to call
seen
nobody
Montclair
out.
with something too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Montclair had
so
something out, and
as an artist, like, what are your thoughts, and how do you avoid? Because you don't just tattoo. I'm guessing. I'm sure you draw as well and
yeah, I
do other
draw,
things.
man. I'm in a lot of stuff. Originally I'm an entrepreneur, but
Right.
I'm still very young in this. I'm still learning some key things,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, whatever it is you do, it's still art. Entrepreneurship is an art form, just strategic art form.
Right. Right.
Just a matter of where you placing it and watching it grow. Because
Hmm.
art is creating something and watching it grow.
Right.
Basics. You see what I'm saying? But far as of what was you saying?
Like just like Gucci and all those things,
Right.
like drawing that line. Like what were your kind of your thoughts about those brands and how that all went down?
Now, me personally, when it comes down to like um people that's like that,
Hmm.
I look at it from two different perspectives. I look at it from, okay, I know for a fact that by now they know what's going on, as far as culturally. Like they know the history. They got to. But maybe the person who's at the top of that particular, who's over that area of putting it out, may not be. So I mean,
yeah, it's just why you gotta hire. That's why you gotta be diverse in your hiring.
Correct. You got to be. So therefore, we got to start understanding that we are putting ourselves in this position to either accept or not accept.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I always tell people, why complain about what they doing? You know that they know about what they doing. If you're going to complain about it, create your own brand.
Right.
You could be the next Chanel. You could be the next Gucci. You can be the next Fendi.
Right.
As long as you got the vision and the art form, or not even the art form, as long as you got the creativity and the vision, you're going to either link up with people that know how to do it, or you're going to link up with people that might, you might go around the corner over here and bend right, and that's where it's at.
Such and such going to point you in the right direction.
Correct. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, courage. That's something that's not big in our community.
You're right. And I was going to say, when I mentioned it may need to diversify the room, those rooms may be diversified and somebody is maybe not courageous enough to stand up and say, yo, this wrong. They might be sitting there right there and like, wow. But because they're afraid to lose their position, or they're afraid to, maybe they'll be blackballed for saying something, they don't. But you got to be fearless sometimes and step out there.
You got to. Because, I mean, one thing about it, what people got to understand is, when you come in this world and when you leave out, who gonna be there? Or who was there?
But a mirror.
I mean, you got your mama to a certain extent,
but still,
and God. But other than them two, it's nobody. You might, I mean, your grandma, but you ain't gonna really remember your grandma there. You know what I mean? You know. But the main point is, you got yourself.
Right.
We gotta start teaching self-love. You know, I hate that we've been seeing so much of our queens going through getting beat on, getting killed left and right. I lost a homegirl to domestic violence. Stuff like this. Like, and I mean, I ain't gonna point it all at the men, but it's also the women too for provoking the men.
Absolutely.
It's a two-way street. At some point, we gotta stop pointing fingers and being like, yo, what we gonna do?
I tell people, you know, if a problem arises, it's okay to speak on the problem, but don't ever dwell on it and go straight to solutions.
Right.
Be a solution finder instead of a problem finder. I don't want people that's going to sit around and tell me what's wrong with something all day without answers.
Right.
So when those people are, you know, per se saying things are wrong, I think we got to come together as a community. We got to come together as men and sit down and say, how can we fix this? How can we stop these women from looking at us a certain way, or these certain people from judging us in a certain way? Let's come together and find those solutions.
Correct.
So
right.
I think that can happen. We got Quality Ink with us right now, man. I want to get into a little more on the tattoo side. If we can talk about your employment, talk about maybe some ink that's, because you're very inked out, my brother.
Yeah,
very
man, I'm lost in it. But
let's play a promo video from some of your work. Show the people a little bit. Who put this together for you?
Rodney Adams. I might have to probably shoot you the link.
I think it show up on here. I think
it probably do. Yeah, it do. I think towards the end, but
okay.
He most definitely shot the video. You know, we was at House of Pain on 1801 North Tryon, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
That was a dope video. I actually want to shoot more. That to be real, that was my first video. I was nervous. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, and he was like, bro, just tag. I was like, all right.
And he brought it together for you.
Brought it together, did the editing and all that, and
dope.
It was real dope. You know what I mean? And I always try to link in people like him, and I know a lot of videographers, people who deal with cameras.
You introduced me to one when I met you the first time.
I got like a whole team of them.
That's dope. Let's get into it. We'll talk about it a little bit more after we get into the preview video. Let's play the promo. It's This, That, and the Third interview series, CIAA edition, Steven the Dream, Quality Ink. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir. I'm never standing out.
I made the beat.
I'm never standing out. Oh. gates. Neighborhood ain't like I said, we came from New Orleans. Had some fights or slung some iron in Baton Rouge, you recall it. Lee Lucas doing life, he left when I was.
We are back in the building. This, that, and the third interview series. Steven the Dream, Quality Inc. is here with me. We just watched his promo video. Let the people know once again where you tat out of, so they know where to find you after they just seen that.
1801 North Tryon, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Dope.
House of Pain. As far as the brand House of Pain,
Yeah.
they've been around since like 2008. As far as the biggest urban, black tattoo shop on.
Legendary in the city.
Correct.
For
So
sure.
if you was like 2003 or whatnot, y'all done heard of House of Pain.
Right.
You know what I mean? And businesses always go through changes. They go through turmoil. They go through whatever they go through. But at the same time, it's about how long can you persevere or whatnot and
Facts.
overcome and whatnot. And, far as of the shop is me, Quality Inc., Rail OB, Artie, and it's A-Town and Rico.
Dope.
A-Town, he pretty much like the head of the shop.
Piercings too, right?
Yeah,
Like
we
you
do
said.
piercing. Cheapest in the city.
Okay.
Speaking of piercings, I'm about to start piercing myself. I never really.
So you jumping into that side
I'm
too?
jumping in, dog. Like, hey, why not? I get a lot of people. Hey, I got piercing. I mean, we got 3 people that pierce at the shop already.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like with A-Town, he been piercing since the beginning. Then he's training 2 others that been piercing for a minute. You know what I
Right.
mean? Then now I'm like, yo, I do tattoos.
Add something else to the resume, man.
Right. I ain't the type of dude that always sit around and twiddle my thumbs. You know what I mean? I've always been a working type of guy.
Right.
Before tattooing, I was 9 to 5.
Mm.
Now I tattoo full time.
That's probably a great feeling to be able to do something you love,
Most definitely.
and turn it into your full-time career. What's the longest you've ever taken on a tattoo? Maybe in once, like what's the longest someone can last a session? Or what's the longest session you've had?
All right, I'm gonna answer that in 2 ways.
Okay.
First off, one shot, James Hines. He did this Queen on me. This probably my longest tat. I sat for 6 hours on this one.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
6 hours?
6. Yeah, man. And you see how big it is.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? So this probably like my longest one I done sat for.
Okay.
And this was before I really took tattooing on full time. I was working 9 to 5. I got off work probably like 11 o'clock. I ain't get done like probably like 6 o'clock the next morning. Yeah, it was stupid. And I mean, I might get the math wrong as far as how long it took.
Right. But
Roughly,
still, you knew when you got there and when you left there.
Correct. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I started Waffle House. And I was like, yo. And luckily it was a Friday night going to Saturday morning. You know what I mean? So I wasn't late for work or nothing. But,
well, on the other end, though, on the longest session you've had to
longest session
provide.
All right, I'm gonna answer that in 2 ways. I'm
Okay.
a Gemini. I gotta do everything.
Talk about it.
So, one session, I ain't gonna consider it a session, but I'm gonna say my opening day tattooing, like my first day, like, yo, I'm tattooing.
Mm-hmm.
I tattooed 16 people my opening day.
16.
Yeah, from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock that night. Just doing simple stuff, like from
But working those.
yeah, from names, numbers, stars, whatever, something simple. Cause my main thing was to get my line work straight.
Right.
As long as my line work straight, I knew that shading was gonna either come or eventually come. Or
But that's like one of the more important things is
That line work.
straight lines.
right,
Yeah, you're right. I don't want no crooked lines unless I want a crooked line.
right.
You know?
You want me to type your name with a crooked line?
Nah,
like
bro.
the S look like
Nah, my S need to be crispy.
had 3, 4, 5 curves in it. Nah,
You right.
man,
You
nah,
right.
nah.
So I want to ask then, like, your first tattoos. The progression was there, like you said, I'm sure. But like, are there any tattoos that you've done and you were just maybe not happy? Well, let me not even say you. The person who received the tattoo was not happy with.
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't even gonna cap. I've never been the one to cap on anybody or flex like that. Oh,
Mm.
man, happy.
Keep it real.
Yeah, I always
Talk
keep
your
it real.
talk.
People know I keep it real all the way. I didn't misspell plenty of words on people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
How you handle that then? Dang.
and I mean to be real, like how I handle it is, for one, either I offer them I can either cover it up and remove it.
Right.
Like when I say remove it, I mean like when I cover it up, I might readjust where I put it, like far as the words or something like that, or I might cover it up and then completely do that same tat somewhere else.
Right.
'Cause I mean, at the end of the day, tattooing is just covering up. It's ink. You brown
you draw over
skin
it.
or white skin or
Right.
tan skin. It's black ink.
That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna cover it regardless. Yeah, I'm covered regardless. Even if I wanted these tats covered, I can go to somebody. Yo, cover this shit.
Cover it up, right?
And they gon' okay, what you want on it? Oh, put whatever. Whoa. Let me not say
Don't
whatever.
put whatever.
Let me not say whatever, because not everything.
Do you have any whatever tats?
Huh?
Do you have any whatever tats? Like, is there anything that you was like, yeah, go ahead, put some work on me, or maybe just, dang, bro, I don't want that anymore, or maybe not, you don't want it anymore. You just like, what was I thinking, man?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of my tats are meaningful. I lost count
That's
around
good.
like 69 tattoos.
You got 69 tattoos on you, bro.
No. I lost count around 69. I lost count.
So you got more than 69.
Yeah, I got more than 69, but I lost count. I don't. And I
That's
plan
a
on getting
lot,
more.
bro.
Yeah, I plan on getting more too.
Do you want to be? So I see you've already hit the face.
Yeah,
I
I
see
got
it.
4 on the face. 4 tattoos on the face, which don't hurt, by the way.
I wanted to ask you that too. So I'm tatless. Everybody, you know me. I got no tats. I'm skinless, inkless. I mean, for someone who's just getting a tat, you explained it to me. It's a mental thing. It's a lot of mental. But is there a certain area where you wouldn't suggest somebody to get their first tattoo if they're just not ready mentally to take on that stress?
Private area.
Wait. The private area.
I'm throwing it out there, but nah.
Yeah, I don't think I want to.
There's some crazy people out there, but listen, if it's your first tattoo, no private areas.
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest no fingers. I wouldn't suggest no feet. I wouldn't suggest the head, like your
what about
head.
the elbows? Like,
I wouldn't suggest that if that's your first tattoo. I would suggest.
I hear ribs is bad. I hear ribs is crazy.
Definitely bad. I
Okay.
ain't gonna say like to the extreme.
Okay.
It depends on who you are.
Right. It's all depending on
I
your level.
always say females could take it differently because they have babies. So it's
Facts.
like yo,
No
your
pain
body
gonna be
can
like
go.
that.
Your body can go through so much more.
I
than
hear so
what-
many females that'll tell me like, I need some ink. I just need that needle on me, and I'm like,
Yo,
you okay? She like, no, I just need it. I gotta have it. I'm like,
yo, it's definitely.
is it? So, how about you for yourself? When you got your first tattoo, is it an addiction? Is it an addictive thing? Because everybody's like, as soon as you get one, you can't just get one. It's not happening.
It's a two-way answer with that one. One for one, I'm gonna say yeah, and I'm gonna say depending on who you are, because people can look at it from two ways. They can look at it from, oh, I just like the art form of it, or they can look at it from, it's a therapeutic because I went through a certain trauma, or I lost somebody, or I just birthed somebody, and I want to add them to something that I never forget because it's an experience.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, it's all based on experience and what people go through. So, different people, different reasons, different situations, different measures. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, when it comes down to how I gauge what I do as far as with tattooing, it's some tattoos I won't do. Some tattoos I will. You know, I try to tell people if they really don't know, I try to either guide them into, what's the theme of what you trying to pull off, or what do you already got that maybe somebody messed up, or you drew up, or it's like I say, different situations, different measures. So I can sit here and try to different situation it out, but you be like, yo, how do you even put up with this? Like, it's crazy, bro.
Have you ever had a screamer?
A what?
Screamer. Have you ever had a tattoo you couldn't finish because the person just could not? Wow.
Yeah, I didn't have plenty. I ain't gonna say plenty. I didn't have a few of those. A lot of people go to sleep when I tattoo them. Surprisingly.
So you're not, cause like my barber, like this is how I associate it the same way, and it may be different. My barber know when I sit in the chair, we gonna talk for a little bit. The rest of the time, I'm gonna close my eyes. I might throw my headphones in and I'm zoned out. He leave me be. He might talk to somebody else, but he leave me be. When you're tattooing, you know, you said it's an experience too. Do people, you know, do you give therapy too? Because you ultimately can become a therapist, become just a person to listen to. So do you just sit and listen sometimes? Like how are your sessions and or is it, you know, case by case situation? I'm sure too.
I'm actually glad you asked that. Be honest with you, that's why I call my name Quality.
Okay.
This is going back into my name. Quality. When I originally said quality, mind you, I'm vegan.
Right.
It's a lifestyle.
Right.
So now I'm like, when people come get tatted by me, what separates me from the rest? What is my niche? You know what I mean? And my niche is, for one, I'm light-handed. You know what I mean? Occasionally I have to be heavy-handed, depending on your skin. If you don't drink a lot of water,
let them know. Let them. That pH balance is important.
Above 9, keep it. Your skin. All right.
Jules.
But I try to be as light-handed as possible. Like I said, I use vegan ink. Not even vegan ink, but I don't use Vaseline. I use CBD oil.
Okay.
Vegan.
Okay. Right.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people be
more
like,
naturals.
Right. I'm all natural with everything. Only thing that's not natural is the needle, the machine.
And you ain't getting that.
You see what I'm saying? So
that.
I'm literally going out here giving people my lifestyle on another level that they're not even aware of.
That's art.
And then they wonder why. Like some people complain, some people don't about pricing. You know what I mean? The people that's day one and stuff like that, they know I give this away because this my hands are is how I create my art.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't mind giving it away. I don't mind giving it away to people who support me or people who I feel that is adding and I can add to. You see what I'm saying?
Factual.
I don't mind. Like you see when I asked you, bro, you want to?
Bro, ask me straight up, do I want to tat? Y'all don't kill me, cause it's somebody out here that's like, you didn't take the quality tat, bro. You didn't take the quality. What's wrong with you, bro?
Price tag with that?
He didn't say. He told me, come on, bro. He told me, come on. So when you told me that, I was even like, well, you know what? I'm so happy that you would be willing to offer. But I want to make sure when I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready.
I know. I understand.
So when but even whatever it is, I know that just by you doing that and you know coming up here and explaining your the way you operate, that I will come to you when I get a tattoo because I know I'm gonna feel comfortable. You're not gonna kill me for the price,
No.
you know. And knowing that it's my first time, I'm sure you'll help me. Like you said, it's your job to make sure that the experience goes well.
Correct.
So
Because a lot of times the tattoo is one thing. Anybody in the world could tattoo.
hmm
You give your kid, if you got one, or whoever a tattoo machine put in their hand, they can tattoo.
Right.
That's how simple it is. But art,
it's different.
not only art, but let's take it a step further. Let's talk about the experience.
hmm
Not only that, let's talk about, is your family good once you in my chair?
hmm
Not only that, let's talk about, you good? Like, what's going on with
How
you
you
mentally?
living? What you putting in yourself? Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like,
right,
why are
right.
you getting this tattoo? What's going on? I'm getting in people's minds like this, and I'm having these conversations. So, yeah, technically, going back to your question, I am their therapist. So, when they come to me, this is why I use CBD oil, because it
Right.
helps them relax.
Right.
They may not smoke, but
You about to get this. You about to get this nice little relaxation therapy right
and guess
here.
what they do?
What was that? Sled knockout. Be good.
Well, you about done? Yeah, I'm out there. You hit just a few more strokes, and I'm
Right.
All right, we done. You know what I mean? But I always try to make sure people got a good experience. But I ain't gonna lie, a lot of times it be miscommunication with some people,
hmm
and I completely understand that. But I also try to explain to them, like, you may not understand the business side of what I got going on. It's other people, it's millions of people. Yo, I got a dream of a scorpion wrapping around my head with
Right.
a whatever on the left.
hmm
I get tons of these people in my inbox every day. You know what I mean? And
Right.
not only me, but other artists around the Carolinas as well. So you got to think, per artist, it's probably at least maybe 20 to 30 people hitting them up, or either they
Regular.
having conversations with about tattoos,
hmm
whether they tattooing or not.
Facts.
Guess what? When I'm getting ready to, all right, man, the day over with. Bring in, bring in, bring in.
Somebody got to.
Yo, I'm trying to get tattooed right now. Bruh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
What you talking about?
People, but that's still a good thing to have. That's a good
Yeah,
problem to
it's
have.
more.
man.
I'm not complaining about far as of people wanting the art or the craft. I'm talking about.
It's just
structure.
more to go behind it than people think. So I would say you say that to say when you can't get to somebody and tattoo them that day, understand you
considerate.
might have been 5 tattoos deep. You might have had 3 people cancel on. You might have been. It might have been a lot to go left.
Yeah, right. It like people. I might have 3 councils. Then I might have to turn around and tat 5. Then turn around and had 2 canceled. Then, I gotta shoot and help my people's. Might have to pick my people up from somewhere. I
Right,
might
right,
have to
right.
get my son from school. I might have to.
Life.
I'm an entrepreneur.
It-
I'm not working on nobody's schedule. I'm working on my own schedule. So
Facts.
when different people coming at me about, I need this tat. Can you meet me here to help me with this? And I'm also partnering in with like, for example, Cut Creative. I mean, not Cut Creative, but Hog. Well, I shout out
Hoggy,
Cut
yeah.
Creative, but
Yeah.
Hog. You know what I'm saying? With his washer,
Yeah,
washing the
yeah,
car
for
business.
sure.
I help them out with that. You know what I'm saying? I help out with his lawn care business. You know what I mean? It's other things that I also. If you had something that was like, yo, bro, I need you here.
I already know. I can tell you the type of person that
You see what I'm saying?
that if called upon, but I want you to realize, man, at the end of the day, like you said, you make your own schedule. So
Correct.
you know, don't let them make you. Don't let it be flipped around and you at the mercy of everybody because you've gotten to the level where you can do that. Quality Inc. with us here on this, that, and the third. We're gonna have to talk again soon because
most definitely.
you know, we talked on a level to where this side of the game you might want to be jumping into one day too on the media side.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we'll say that for the convo when I get my tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll have it then if I tighten up though. But we'll keep it on.
We're gonna get you in there, bro.
Already, man. Before you get out of here, let the people know one more time where they can come find you, where they can get your work, where they can check you out at.
Once again, quality _INKQ. That's INKQ on Instagram. Quality Q Adams on Facebook.
Oh.
You can hit me up on one of the two. I will get my number out there, but I normally tell people to text me. If you got my number, text me. Don't
Right.
call me, because them scammers be out there blowing people's phone up. So just text me. But 1801 North Tryon, Charlotte, North Carolina. That's the tattoo shop I'm working at, House
Dope.
of Pain. We do piercings, we
Dope.
tattoos. We got 4 or 5 artists. We lit. You know what I'm saying? If you want
Definitely.
tattoo parties, we got to be at least 10 people or more as far as of tattoo parties at the shop. And I promise you, it's a great experience, man. It's something like the Carolinas be asking, yo, we need some spot to chill at, whatever. Yo, I'm trying to point y'all in the right direction, but y'all
Right.
gotta listen.
Gotta listen.
You gotta listen. I'm telling you, come chill with us.
Quality
Like,
Inc.
what's up?
I think on the asset, I think we left the Q off the end of your Instagram on the asset, but give it to them one more time, just so when they see it, they know to add the Q there. So just give it to
Okay.
them one more time.
It's quality _ INKQ.
Don't forget the Q.
Yeah, you can't forget the Q.
Can't forget the Q.
It's ink. You know, that Q throws that on the end. You know what I mean?
It's like that silent K.
Yeah. Ink. You know what I mean? It's that.
Quality Inc. in the building. This, that, and the third interview series, CIAA edition. It's your boy Steven the Dream. We will catch y'all next time.